Hey guys, so it looks like AGS has finally taken some major action to combat RMT. And today they came out with this letter, Team Update Combating RMT. So let's read it together, right? So here's our Arkesia. Combating bots and player-to-player real money transactions is a key focus of our team. While many of our past actions have been focused on reducing the efficacy and number of bots to improve the player experience of every adventurer in Arkesia, we have also been developing measures to better identify and action against RMT at scale. So it looks like they've always been in the know, right? They've always been in the know that this is probably the best course of action, but they, I guess, haven't had the measures to identify these RMT'ers very easily. And probably maybe they didn't decide on what they wanted to do against these RMT'ers. I think that's kind of fair, but at the same time, there's a lot of ways I think that in-game they could really check if a person's RMTing. Of course, they don't want to do like any false bans, right? There may be some sus transactions on the marketplace that might actually be real transactions, but you know, we never know, right? So our team conducted a major ban wave targeting accounts that transacted large amounts of RMT gold early this week. To accompany this ban wave, we wanted to take a moment to reiterate our stance on RMT and correct some misconceptions we've seen circulating in the community. While we can't share all the measures that our team is taking, as that would grant those attempting to break the rules an upper hand, we can share a general look into these policies. So what are these policies, right? These policies are: infractions will be punished on an escalating basis, taking into account the severity of the RMT and the number of previous infractions all the way up to permanent bans. So interesting, because in the past, my friends have always said like, hey, you know, whatever, you can RMT. They're probably, even if they can catch you, even if they catch you, they'll probably just give you like a 3-day ban or something like that. So it's good to know that they are doing permanent bans. If a player RMTs gold, we will take it away. Spending the gold after receiving it will not prevent disciplinary action. If the player spends the gold and it can't be taken away, that will increase the severity of the infraction, leading back up to the previous point above. So basically, even if you spend the gold, that won't help you out, right? In fact, actually spending the gold will make things worse because they can't actually penalize you by just removing the gold. They can't remove the gold, so they'll penalize you by increasing the amount of time you're getting banned for. We track RMT gold through multiple accounts, so washing the gold through secondary accounts will not protect an account from action. Every account involved in the chain will face punishment. So basically, they can track gold. They know where the gold is going, where it's heading. So even if you trade between multiple characters or quote unquote wash it, they can detect it. I don't know how accurate that will be or can be, but I'm just going to trust that they're able to do it very well. And there is a false perception that spending money in the game prevents significant disciplinary action when RMTing. The recent ban wave included users that monetarily invested in Lost Ark. So basically, the last thing they want to say is that people who spend money in the game through the cash shop, you're not getting away with it. We know that RMT is a top player concern and negatively impacts the in-game economy for all players. While we can't always share a look into our plans, we are persistently combating bots and RMT. Thank you for your feedback and support as we work to continually improve the Lost Ark player experience. So that's it. And thank goodness, because I've always been saying this, right? No matter how many actions they put in place, no matter how many countermeasures they put in place to prevent bots from, doing what they do, making it more inconvenient for them to sell gold, they're always going to find a way as long as there's a desire and a need from the player base, right? They're always going to find a way as long as there are customers. It might be harder, but some people have these as their full-time job. They make a living off of RMTing with bots. So of course, those people are going to find any way they can to make it so they can continue making a living. Now, I've always said this as well, but the only way, in my opinion, to prevent people from botting is to make it so there is not a need for bots in the first place. And what I mean by that? Well, the action that they're taking now is basically making it so that, many more players are going to be afraid of RMTing, hopefully. Because they don't want to get banned, they don't want to get permanently banned, they don't want to get their gold taken away from them, right? So a lot of people, as a result of these, hopefully, will stop RMTing and stop buying for bots. So if there are no players buying gold, then what are the bots going to do? even if they come in and farm all this gold, right? If there's nobody actually here buying gold from them, then there's not really going to be a need for these bots to be around, because they won't be selling their gold to anybody, and as a result, they won't be able to make any money from Lost Ark. So the more that we make it so that people are penalized for RMTing, the less bots will be around. We don't actually need to put things in place to prevent them from doing what they do, because if we just prevent the need at all from the players, the bots won't have anybody to sell to, and as a result, more and more of them will leave. Of course, with any game, you're going to have those players that are always going to try to break the rules and get an advantage for themselves, right? But for the most part, as long as we reduce that number down to an amount that is kind of insignificant, then it will have a much, much lower impact to our game. So I'm really happy that AGS is taking this stance right now. I mean, they've always taken this stance, honestly. Like, we all knew that they're against RMT, right? But I'm glad they finally took action, and big action, on this. Now, how big was the ban wave, right? Well, it definitely affected certain servers more than others. As we can see here in this clip from Coddy, rip Zosma, we can see what happened to the Zosma server.
Dude, Zosma has an actual dedicated botting Discord, dude.
So I'm not going to watch the whole clip, but you guys can see that certain servers got hit really, really hard. So you can see that what they're doing is actually effective, because there was a lot of people that were RMTing in the game, and as a result, they banned a lot of different people. Now, granted, that's Zosma specifically, and that's known to be a server with a ton of people RMTing and a ton of people botting. In servers like Mari, bigger servers like, you know, Mari, Asena, it's going to be harder to see them through the PvP list, because there's a lot more people PvPing, and a lot of those people might not be bots, or at least or buying RMT, or at least not openly buying it from like G2G or something like that. They're probably buying it from peer-to-peer. They're buying from other players, things like that. So is it effective? I think so. And it also makes a lot more sense now why they're doing server merges, because if they're banning a lot of people, there are going to be servers that have basically no players. As you saw from that list on Zosma, looked like 90% of the people on that server got banned, or at least on the PvP list, right? So it makes a lot more sense why they're doing server merges as well. And, you know, there is a little bit of like a, oh shoot, what does this mean for the game, right? Because Lost Ark has been a game that people have been saying is dying, which, you know, I'd say is kind of true in the sense that every MMO starts to die over time. But because of this ban wave, there's going to be a lot of people who were playing Lost Ark every day who might not be playing Lost Ark anymore. So we're definitely going to be losing a significant amount of people in the player base, and that might be a reason why AGS has been so hesitant on banning people in the past, right? But I think this is overall healthier for the game, and hopefully with the stigma of the game being so big in RMT, having so many bots, so many, you know, of this illegal gold flying around, hopefully that will entice more players to consider either picking the game up for the first time or coming back to the game after a long time, because they've just been tired of the fact that everybody has been RMTing in the game. So yeah, that is my stance on this. I think it's definitely a very, very good situation, and I hope that they continue to do this in the future. If they just do one ban wave and they stop doing it again in the future, like, people are just going to start RMTing again after they get over this, their fear or whatever. Hopefully they continue to do this over time and keep the game, you know, fun and enjoyable for everybody who doesn't play it illegally or, you know, use illegal means to play it. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me think if let me know if you guys think it's positive, negative. Let me know your thoughts on this. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications. And as always, I stream every single night on twitch.tv/MisoXShiru. starting at 10 p.m. PST. But if you are looking at this video on the day it's released on February 17th, I am actually doing a 24-hour stream, so I will most likely be live on Twitch right now. So come on over, hang out with me, and we'll have a lot of fun. But if not, if you don't want to come or if you can't come, hopefully I'll at least see y'all on the next video. All right, guys, peace out.